Hello, I'm Mike Levin, the SEO of Inwood in New York City, which is at the very tippy top of Manhattan, where I am today, at my Code with Mike Friday office, so long as I keep it. So my mission that I have chosen is to add another link here that creates an OAuth2 login. I could pop it out to a separate window and then update it back, but I think I'm going to update it right in location. The first click is going to bring you to an authentication window from Google, and then approving that is going to bring you right back here. Although right now I have it set to localhost, so bringing right back here will actually be a broken link. But let's address each of these issues in turn. First of all, from my research just now, I actually sort of already know this. You can import URLlib and then use urlencode to put together all these parameters to get a query string object, and then you just append it onto the base domain. So let's start doing that in our code. These are all the pieces that go into what we need to create an OAuth2 login. Oh, pause. I'm really going to have to take care of that. Keep getting logged out from my terminals thing. So Control F to go forward in my code. Oh, this is actually probably going to be a template thing now that I think about it. But it should be a value passed to the template that just gets built as the output of a function. So I'm just going to go to a logical place to start making a new function. I think above getBookmarklet is probably a pretty good place. GetBookmarklet, this is a similar concept. It's get OAuth2 login. So I go insert and I go def get login link. Open close parentheses, colon, and then escape, colon, set paste. For insert mode, paste in what I just got from my escape 0, what I just got from my Google Docs. So all this has to be indented, so I can go Shift V, right arrow, and then this is sort of the base domain. So I'll go base domain equals, it's more than just a base domain, it's a base URL. And it also has the question mark in there. That's sort of less than pure. I'll just go up to the auth part. And then I'll do something. Now this is where we start to create the dictionary per the example here. So we can just make a Python style dictionary string literal that looks a lot like JSON. And we would do that by just, well, not in here. We would do that just by saying qsdict equals curly bracket, and then we put this around that, and we need a colon. We get rid of our equals, and we put colons around that too, and we also don't need those question marks. Those are going to be filled in automatically. Now when we're building these sorts of JSON looking objects in Python, which are really native dictionaries, we don't have to be very sensitive to line breaks. Line breaks are allowed. It's an amazing thing. In fact, you can sort of clean it up if you like this, so that you're using, oh, token, yeah, right, this is all right, response type, colon, token, get rid of that, close that, comma, see, looks like JSON. This redirect needs to be the same one, more or less, that you've authorized in the Google API console. More on that later, because
I need to support probably a few different possibilities, a few different landing pages, because this might run off of localhost, as I imagine will be the case with most of you, or it could be on domain name.local in the case of using a Raspberry Pi. Now you go, oh, client ID, you are giving out a secret. Well, no, the client ID is a publicly exposable ID. It's client_secret that you can't give out. So this is perfectly fine. Being the last item in the dictionary, we don't put a trailing comma like the other guys have, but we do need to close this guy here with the curly bracket. And now, using the example in Stack Exchange, you can URLlib, well, we have to import URLlib, and then you can URLlib encode the dictionary you just created. Import URLlib. And then URLlib encode qsdict. Now that just encodes it in a pointerless thing in memory, which really isn't much good. So we say, this is the login link. Well, we can actually just jump into returning it. We can return base URL. Okay, this is very interesting now. You got two things here that are going to be part of what you return, and we shall put them inside parentheses to make them a tuple. This is a couple of values in a tuple, one of them being a query string that's being assembled on the fly. And so we are returning a string that will do formatted string replacement or string formatting of the first item being fed in the tuple, question mark, the second item being fed in the tuple. And that's about the most Pythonic and clean way of doing this that I know of. I might have gotten it a little bit wrong, but now we can set a value equal to GetLogin link and feed that along with everything else in the template. So let's pause for a second. Okay, so what we're going to do is sort of build it up, and we're going to go into the template file, cd templates, and vim python manipulate.html, and we're going to find the place in the form. Yeah, okay, there it is. We're going to find the place in the form where we're giving out the bookmarklet. Drag this and hit O. We're going to go hello. Throw in a gratuitous break before it. Self-terminating break. Save. These don't need server restarts in the template. And there it is. There's our hello. And now we look in Pipulate where it's the first case of where this is done. So we're going to search on get bookmarklet, next. Ah, there it is. So there's a whole bunch of render templates in main, but we're only concerned with the last one here. And we're going to have to feed it something very similar to bookmarklet equals get bookmarklet. This is going to be login link equals get login link, which is the function we just wrote. And now the invocation of this function should actually be possible, and we're making a new variable name or parameter name that's being passed in to the function, and render template is made to accept any number of things passed in just like that. So now we can go to the template, and now I should be able to, instead of hello, I should be able to put the link with a double curly bracket. Let me do a escape ZZ to recenter it for easier reading. And we say login link space close brackets. And I'll just put the word login. It's going to be a spelled out, it's not going to be a real link, it's going to be kind of long up. Okay, let's see what went wrong here. Module has, oh, no attribute URL encode, so it's calling URL encode for the first time. Yeah, okay, there's URLlib. Let's just import the exact one we want. URL encode. I might have been importing it one level too high. We do have to wait for the server to stop and start. You'll see exactly how patient I am. Okay, still an error. No module named urllib.urlencode. This could be a Python 2 versus Python 3 thing. So let's see. urllib.urlencode is a thing of interest. We'll go over here. We'll do this. We'll paste that in. And there it is. First autosuggest is with Python 3. How do you do that now in Python 3? Parse result. Okay, I pause. Well, here we have it. urllib.urlencode gets replaced with urllib.parse.urlencode. Simple as that. So I'm going to do a much more memory efficient and precise install from let's see how that works. From next. From inspect import signature. Okay, there we go. Escape G semicolon. Oops, G semicolon. From URL lib.parse import URL encode. And now just use URL encode there. This is a quick one-off. Wait for that server to stop and start. Well, that's much better. Open this out. Hey, exactly what we wanted. I should be able to, it's not easy to copy that out. I wish I could just highlight that, but it keeps going back in. So we do the next logical step, which is to construct a link out of it, just like we did before. So that goes something like href equals double quote the contents of that close login close anchor. And that other login is somewhat redundant at this point, isn't it? Save. And this looks like a good place to cut this video, if this works. Have offline access. I still got to fix that to make sure it's also saying the ability to edit spreadsheets. Except, and it's going to be a web page not found, but that's because it's localhost. But there is the access token right there. So this is mission accomplished. The return URL, if you just for the sake of completeness, should be Mike11 SEO.local, hostname.local, and that will come back as a web page. Whoops, if I spelled my own name correctly, it would have. Yep, there you go. That's the landing page we want with the access token sitting there after a hash mark, which is really interesting because we're probably going to have to use a little piece of JavaScript to grab that out and maybe using AJAX or some other transport mechanism, shuttle it back over to the service, because this is a very clever way that the creators of the OAuth2 specification are cutting off the ability of one more man-in-the-middle access token hijack attempt that could be possible if this redirect actually ended up making a full request off of the landing page, including the access token, which when it's not HTTPS mode, which it's not, this is just HTTP, there is a sniffing vulnerability. But I'm going into this open eyes. The payback is that we will not have to embed any usernames or passwords or client secrets into anything anywhere. And this will be utterly releasable GitHub free and open source code that relies on an OAuth2 login. But I'll always just make that reminder that sessions can be hijacked when you do this. Maybe I'll put it in S mode at some later date. But for right now, this is coming together quite nicely. I hope this makes sense to at least some of the people out there watching this, maybe the Google searchers who are researching that obscure topic of implicit grant authorization type under OAuth2 using Python and Flask. This is a really intricate Venn diagram of people who might be interested. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.